So, one normal day, I was driving to the gym, just going through my normal routine when my phone rang. And within the next few days, I would learn a family secret that had been kept from me for 20 years. Finding out the woman who helped raise me was about to pass away, rushed my puppy Lowell to multiple veterinarians after he was diagnosed with parvovirus, and deal with one of the most overwhelming weeks of my life. Most people experience moments where several difficult events happen all at once. There are moments that can be overwhelming, but they also show how strong we can be when we're forced to handle multiple challenges at the same time. The series of events surrounding my grandmother's passing, along with the situation involving my puppy, taught me important lessons about family, resilience, and how quickly life can change. First, I will talk about the relationship I have with my grandmother and the shocking discovery I made about my family. And second, I would explain the events that happened leading up to her passing and the situation involving my dog Lobo. Third, I'll reflect on how handling grief, responsibility, and financial stress during that week affected me. To understand why the experience affected me so deeply, it's important to understand the role my grandmother played in my life. My grandmother, she raised me in her home for the first 16 years of my life. So she was more like a parent to me than just a grandparent. Many of my childhood memories happened in her house, and she played a huge role in shaping who I am. One day, while driving to the gym, I got into an argument with my mom over the phone about our relationship. During our conversation, I brought up her relationship with my grandmother, and that's when she told me something that shocked me. The woman that I had always known as my grandmother was actually her stepmother, something that had been kept from me for my entire life until I was 20 years old. While I was still trying to process that information, another phone call came that made the situation even more emotional. Less than 2 hours after learning that secret, my aunt called me to tell me that my grandmother's condition had suddenly gotten worse and that she will most likely pass away within the next few days. I went to visit her while I still could. And the following day, when I got home from work, my aunt, my new puppy Lobo, became very sick. I took him to a veterinarian where I learned he got parvovirus, which is a very dangerous disease for dogs. The first vet told me he needed to be hospitalized immediately, overnight, but they could not keep him there, so I had to find another veterinary hospital that could treat him. Eventually, I found one that could keep him, but the treatment created a really large bill that affected me heavily financially. At that moment, I was dealing with the possibility of losing someone who raised me while also trying to save my puppy's life and handle the financial stress that came with this treatment. While I was trying to deal with all of this at once, the moment I had been fearing finally happened. The next morning, when I woke up, I found out my grandma had passed away. I went to see her, and after that, I went to the veterinary hospital to check on Lobo, who was still being treated there. Lobo stayed hospitalized for nearly a week. On the night of my grandmother's wake, I received a call saying he was finally ready to be discharged after receiving a plasma transfusion. Since no one else in my family could pick him up, I drove about 30 minutes to the hospital, brought him home, and I returned to the wake where I stayed until the morning where we left the burial. Looking back, that entire week forced me to deal with grief, responsibility, and unexpected challenges all at the same time. Today, I talked about the relationship I had with my grandmother, who raised me for the first 16 years of my life. the events that happened leading up to her passing, and the difficult week I experienced while also trying to save my puppy Lobo. What started as a completely normal day on my way to the gym quickly turned into one of the hardest weeks of my life. That experience reminded me how quickly life can change and how important it is to appreciate the people who raise and support us. Thank you.